Okay. I suppose I've never really introduced myself, have I? My name's Darren Dean. I have a little home workshop. I take on little jobs for people, mostly to give me something to do. And like most people with a home hobby shop, it starts out with, I want a lathe. You know, some of us going way back when such things were around, we used a lathe in school, albeit briefly, and a couple of other tools. And then we left school, we never saw one again. And some of us seek out a second-hand lathe to pursue an interest in the subject. And what you usually find is once you've got the lathe, you've no idea what to do with it. You want to do something with it, but what? So some people make model steam engines and other such things, and so some make some really nice stuff. Not my thing, but I do appreciate what they do. Some people go into repair of Lister engines and things like that, and then you get bored, you sell the machine because you've really got nothing to do, and just turning bits of metal soon becomes tedious. You know, turning bits of metal to see if you can, sort of thing. And then you sort of give up for a few years. That's pretty much what I did. And then a bit later on in life, you settle down and you've got a little bit of space, and perhaps you've got a small shed or something, and you're a bit more permanent in where you live in. You think, oh, I'll get another lathe. So you buy it, and you've got nothing to do. Same boat as you were in years before. So I'm into cars and motorbikes and things like that. I certainly was when I was younger. And I have always, since I've been able, pulled engines apart, modified them and rebuilt them. I've built bikes, I've sprayed them, I've cut them up and re-welded them, I've swapped parts of different bikes onto different ones and make things that are totally unrecognisable. I used to enjoy it. Then I started doing it with cars, and then you buy a house and your money disappears, so that all slows down. And then you have kids, and then your kid goes to school, and then he goes to college, and in college he learns how to mess about with engines and such like, and then he ends up working in a garage, and the garage is suddenly find itself stuck with bits that need machining, but there's nobody left to do them. So your lad says, my dad can do that. Oh, and here we are. Dad's doing it and enjoying it. I'm not saying anything else. I do still enjoy it, and it opens up a whole new world. You can charge a little bit. You can buy some more machinery. You can buy bigger machinery. You can buy better machinery. And in a very short space of time, you can end up like me, wondering what the bloody hell he's doing. Anyway, mini cylinder head. Looks like we've got a broken stud here. We'll see if we can get that out. Well, if we can find the tools. Right. First port of call. kids. Put them in upside down. Extractors. These are stud extractors. Pick the right size. Take your favourite ratchet. And see if it'll unwind. Sometimes they do, sometimes they break. And then it's onto the milling machine for a stud extraction. Of course, getting into fixing other people's things, it means you have to buy an awful lot of tools quickly, because every day there's a new job coming in. Just be aware of that. You'll need some space and you'll need some cash. There we are. Removed. Much simpler than drilling it out. So what next? We're not taking those studs out. We've given this head a really good clean. So now we're going to tidy the seats up because they're a bit, they're not bad. I'll take a picture. I don't know if anywhere's one. They're not bad at all actually, but we'll clean them up. And for that we're going to use this type of thing. Because we're not cutting a whole new seat, that's a different kettle of fish. Cool, that is small. We've got 70-degree cutters, 45-degree cutters and 30-degree cutters. Perhaps use this one. It's always nice to fit new valves. I mean, I do have the machinery to reface valves. I can recut the tops here, and I can recut all the angles on here and give them a good clean up. Not a problem. And I used to do it quite a bit, until I realised how cheap valves were. I think these valves were, I think they were £30 for 8 of them. It's not worth me getting the machine fired up for that money. We might as well just put new ones in. Everything's right, everything's new. yeah, don't make sense to recut, to work with old ones really, and all the time that it takes. Right, valve paste. I use this stuff. Oh, what's it called? Oh, so you're sure you can find it from that. Where are we? Just a dab, you don't want much. That's nearly as old as me. I think I had this when I first started playing with motorbikes when I was 16 years old. And it's done a few heads now. So, we're looking for two things, which I shall explain in a sec. Find my glasses. Let me find a pointer. This will do. Right, when we're lapping a valve, you want to see a nice, can you see that? You want to see a nice grind all the way around here. And you want to see an even grind around here, around the seat, with no missing bits. If you grind for more than a few seconds and it doesn't clean up, then it means you need your seats cutting, because you won't get very far with grinding if your seats are out. Right, I think we'll narrow that slightly. I won't go into it into great detail. If somebody wants me to make a video of what exactly I'm looking at and trying to do, then do ask and I'll see what I can come up with at a later stage. But for now, I've got so much to do, I just need to get on with it. I'm sorry. I'll mix myself up again now. Wasn't that one? Was that one? Right, you go in there. Out the way. Yeah, that one. And it was that. Oh, glutton for punishment. Let me show you one. You won't recognise me. Once you get a dirty thumb, your phone won't recognise you. Right. Seat. Looking at the wrong seat. Come on, phone. You want to go on that one then? Where's my lens? That's it. Yeah, that's it. Right. What I'm looking at here is I've lapped. Let's start record, shall we? What I'm looking at here is I've lapped this seat here on this 45 against the valve, and what I'm seeing is it's a bit wide. Now I can see from the valve, get the right valve, I can see from the valve that it's not quite meeting the bottom, or the top as you're looking at it. It's not quite meeting this top bit here, you can see this shiny bit. And then you've got where it's been lapped, and it's gone right off the end. And ideally you don't really want it to go off the end. You want to see another shiny bit. So to achieve that, we're going to recut this top face so that it moves away. I hope you're following this. It moves away from that face. Where's it a bit thinner? It moves away from this edge here by grinding this top edge, this bit here, down. So it's moving down this 45. Hope that makes sense. This video larking is very new to me, so forgive me if I'm fumbling a bit and mumbling a bit. I'm sure it'll get easier as I do more. But I hope some of that had some clarity to it. So what we've done, we've machined the top 30 degrees, which moves it down the 45, and that's quite a bit narrower, so we know, I know we're there. Let's put that valve in there, as that's where it now lives forever. And we just keep working along the valves in that fashion. Lap, we don't really need to lap. These carbide cutters do such a nice job that lapping's just not required. The reason we lap is just to double check, but it's to see where we're contacting on between the valve and the valve seat, and then we can adjust accordingly, as I tried to describe. Right, I was going to just say, one of the most common requests I get for these cylinder heads, especially these A-series minis and older Austins heads, is people ask me if I can put hardened valve seats in. And the answer is, yes I can, but why do you want them? Well, it's to make it last, because of modern fuels, etc, etc, etc. I said, okay, well this head's in good condition. The seats are in good condition. As you've just seen, I didn't do very much to it at all. So it begs the question, what is it, let's call it 1960. I don't know what age this particular engine is, but got to be about 1960, maybe a little older. And it's now what, 1924, call it 25. So that's 65 years. It's still in good condition 65 years later. And it wasn't bought to sit in a garage, it was bought to be used. Is the car, this is like new now, is the car going to last another 65 years? It might possibly, but we could just do this again. Installing valve seats, I don't know what the current price is, But before everything went mad and doubled in price, it was about £100 a seat. It has to be, there's a lot of work involved. As well as parts, tooling, equipment, you name it. It's an expensive job. It's probably 150 to do this now, maybe 200. But it was £100 a seat. So it's a minimum of 400, plus all the other work that's being done. It's a bit of money. And you have to ask yourself, do you need it? Most machine shops will be happy to take your money. No question about that. We've got one port pulling through two valves with rather large valve to valve guide clearance, so it'll be sucking through the valve guide. So we've got a lot of leaks and we've still got a decent vacuum. You know, if I was to, what we can do, grab a bit of grease, note where it is now, just under the 40. We'll seal up. The valve with grease, and we can see it's gone up. So that tells us we've either got a bit of grit still under the seats, or we need to do a little bit more lapping. And you would never know that without a vacuum tester. So we're going to pull those out of there. And first of all, I'm going to clean them much better than I have done. Now, a lot of builders would say, no, that's absolutely fine. It'll bed in. And yeah, it probably would. How well, I'm not too sure, but it'll bed in some. But the right way to do it is to get the vacuum up and know it's good. So now we'll have another go. Well, we've improved a little bit, so there was some dirt involved, but it's not where I'd like it to be. So I'm going to redo them, relap them. I won't bore you with that, I'll come back to you in a bit. Right, with a bit more work, just to show you I'm not cheating, and I've got a load of grease in there. That's thinners in that bottle, by the way. I should do another vacuum test. And there we are, we've gone up. I'm sure with valve springs on. There we are. That is pretty good for one of these. It's pretty good, I must say. This head's, the valve guides in this head are in really good condition. I'm really pleased with that. So we'll do all the others. Whoops. We'll do all the others, and that'll be job done. And then we'll be cleaning it and then assembling it. So I'll come back at that stage. I've got a little bit of work to do to all of these now to bring them all up to spec. Battery level low. My battery went flat for a bit there, so I went for a cup of coffee. So, one more. My fingers are sore. Whoa, what a rest does. Right, they're all on. One saving grace is we can pick the head up and the valves won't fall out. So, we need a bit of stuffing under the valve to stop it going down. Now I'm going to assemble the springs. They don't appear to have a way up. Some collets. And new collet springs. These have an unusual and old-fashioned system where you That's that done. Put that clip in there. In case anybody's wondering. In case anybody's wondering, that's an old toothbrush. A non-magnetic pokey stick. One of these old valves. Okay, well that's it for now. I'm just going to clean this face down a bit with a scraper. You can get these off eBay. It's got a carbide end on it, and you can just scrape off any rust or gasket or anything like that. There's a bit of gasket there. It'll even take off burrs, you know, where somebody's dinked it. I don't know if you could see that, but that took off quite a bit of rust there. It's quite a good, there's all sorts of junk. So that's it for now, because I'm going to go and do some work on the cylinder block before I consider decking this, so that it's not left sitting with a fresh face. A, for damage, B, for rust. So we'll deck this right at the very end. I don't think we have a spare clip. Oh no, we don't. Good job I looked. There we go. So that's it. So with that, I'm going to say bye for now, and I'll come back when I start working on the next part of this project, because I do have a cylinder block to look at.